26, amends the 2018 capital fund budget to provide for a supplemental appropriation of $50,000 from the Wildlands Conservancy to the city of Allentown to assist with funding and alternate scope of work for the Auburn Cross Trail.
Thank you. And we have from Ms. Taylor. Would you please explain?
Certainly, good evening. Later on this evening, you'll be asked to consider a contract to award for the master plan completion for the Auburn Cross Trails project. The Wildlands Conservancy approached the city about adding on an alternate scope to that project, separate from the project, that would involve determining the feasibility of developing a trail that would link Auburn Cross Trails to Lehigh Landing and ultimately the DNL, which would be a major link for the city trail system to link to the DNL from there. So they also have a funding opportunity through the William Penn Foundation that provided them $50,000, up to $50,000 to determine this feasibility. So that is what's before you tonight, a donation from Wildlands of $50,000 that would be focused on just that scope that Wildlands would pay for. There would be no city funds to determine that part of the project for your consideration.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Taylor. I have a quick question. How much is the project?
The project for the city, for the city parcel would be $100,000 with the addition of the $50,000 contribution from Wildlands. The total contract you'll be asked to consider later will be $150,000.
$150,000. Where did the other $100,000 coming from again?
85% of that, or $85,000, is being funded through a Department of Community and Economic Development grant through the Greenways Recreational and Trails Program, and $15,000 is the city match.
Okay, thank you. And how long do you think this project will take?
We expect the city part, the Auburn Cross Trails part, to take about a year. The second part, the Wildlands part, may take up to a year and a half.
Okay. Any question? Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Any question from the dais? Any questions from the public?
Good evening, Glenn Munster, South Allentown. Is this project the #1 top of the list to do, or is this a series of other projects? I guess you have a slew of projects, right? So,
We have various projects concerning park development and trail development. We believe that this Auburn Cross Trails, the trail hub, is a very important part, both for the trail system in the future and for green space for Center City, which continues
is
to
this the
grow.
highest priority, one of your highest priorities?
Yes, it is. I would consider
It
it,
is
yes.
out of a list of 5 or 10, or what? Do you think?
There's a few.
A few. Okay, 3. And the 15,000, could you take that from the tricks or estate, if you want so choose?
No, the 15,000 was actually appropriated last month at the last month's city council meeting.
So, okay, you're covered on the 15,000?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public? Go ahead, Mr. Marino.
So the 50,000 is part of the CDBG funds? Is that what you said?
No, the 15.
The 15,000, was that part of the CDBG funds? or
No,
was that-
no, it was not. We shifted that last month from the city parks and playgrounds capital.
Oh, okay, so it was already in that.
It was allocated.
Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead, sir.
Tom Horn again. We do need the overlay map or the aerial map of all the past connections to the trails that we're talking about. And if this one doesn't connect to anything else, what's good is it having a road to nowhere or a trail to nowhere? If there's a trail there and it doesn't go anywhere, in other words, it has to be connected to this, or this should be connected to that. There's always this 1 mile of trail, 2 miles, whatever the length is, and where you're gonna go when you're on it.
It seems that, down mile or two, it takes money to do that. So that's why they're doing, right, little by little.
No, you're missing what I'm
But
asking.
hold on, let her answer. Ms. Taylor, will you please?
Certainly. Auburn Cross Trails is in the Connecting Our Communities trail study that was completed back in 2012. It is considered the central trail hub of the trail network that will extend out from the city. So our intent is to do a master plan to start the trail system, Center City, extend out along MLK Drive, which we also received a grant for, and we'll be moving forward on that part of it, eventually going to the Lehigh Parkway. It will also link with Trout Creek, it will link with the Jordan Creek Greenway, and we hope that it will link with the DNL if this works out. And it will also be easily accessible by Center City. So we believe that this is actually where we need to start the trail system.
So this is the beginning phase.
Yes, it is.
If you were to leave your house with your family riding a bicycle, how would you get onto the trail? Or would you have to put the bicycles in your car and then drive it someplace, park it, get in the trail, and when you were going, you'd have to turn around and go back the same way and get in your car, you couldn't drive home. In other words, there's no connection to crossing the Lehigh and connecting with all the other trails, whether it's Bethlehem or, I think so, an avid bike rider brings a bike in the back of the car and then gets up, takes a ride, comes back the same way, puts the bike back in the car and go because you can't get there. If you use Martin Luther, the new Parkway Bridge, nobody painted the bike rails. There's people that are driving now on American Parkway with no bike lanes. I mean, there's bicycles all over the place. Even right now on Martin Luther King, the bike lane is only one way. You can't ride the bike on the other side of the street going the other way because the bike lane's only one way. I mean, nobody looks at the big picture of how the people who want to ride a bike can ride to where the trails are. That's what I'm asking. Where's the overall picture where it shows this is how it's going to go, this is where you're going to go, and everybody knows you can go to Trexler Park and come around, but how do you get to Trexler Park to ride the trail?
You know what, I am a visual person, and to a certain extent, he is right. It would be nice for us to have, a visual aid of what it is that we're planning to do with phase one, and perhaps phase two.
Absolutely.
I mean, I do enjoy his analogy, although sometimes it's confusing, but, it does make sense though. It would be nice to have something.
Yes.
Well, and even with the caveat, if I can join in, please, not everybody's gonna be able to walk out their front door, get on their bike and be on a trail. Yeah, there's gonna be bike trails, but they're not gonna be every street in the city that you can just walk out your front door and go to it, so. It's just so we have things in perspective here. Thank you.
Yeah.
I only brought it up so we understand the plan, that if I were to go
Go ahead, you know what, I'll give you one more minute, how about that?
I'm saying, if I drive go with my grandchildren down Bradford Street, down underneath, get on the trail, go all along the canal thing, watch the trains get humped where they make the trains, and come up behind the Coke Works, and come I'm just saying, in my section, where I've done it in the past, I'm saying, how does that intersect for the other people that want to watch how a train is made? There are things to see.
Well, the positive thing is that we already spoke with Ms. Taylor, and she said that she's gonna bring us a visual aid, so we don't know where the trail, how phase one is gonna be, and she'll give us an idea.
But you understand that, I understand what Roger was talking about, you just can't get off your house and get on a trail. But you have to make the little plots of the city where the bicycles, I see people on Sumner Avenue riding a bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
Then they stop off at Jordan Park, they come down 6th Street, they come all over the place. I'm just trying to say that there's two things to it. There's access to get where the trails are and the trails.
Thank you.
Ms. Taylor, this $50,000 that we're looking at here is to look at connecting trails, correct?
To connect Auburn Cross Trails to Lehigh Landing and the DNL.
Okay, so you wouldn't have to stop and turn around, you could
In
continue.
this part,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
But again, it's important to see a visual,
I agree.
to see something.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, any other question from the public? Okay, none? Going once, going twice? Okay, all right, I need a motion.
I make a motion to move it favorably to the full council.
All those in favor say
Aye.
Okay. I believe that, the park and recreation meeting is adjourned.